So hello everyone. It's 5:30. I think it's best if we remain on time and punctual. So we'll get started with just the team introductions to start with. Um, Helping us out with the webinar will be Deepak, Neeraj, and a few other folks from the 5-1 team. Ismail, I think many of the users would be aware about. He's from the customer support side, and we have, as I scroll through the list, we have Shekhar, we have Shripal, Tejas, Varsha from the team as well. And today we're here to basically talk about the options capabilities that 5.1 has and just to demonstrate that bit to you in detail. Of course, there are other things in 5.1 and we have a few interesting bits of content on our YouTube channel to explore that. And just before starting, I would like to say that please feel free to post your questions in the chat. We have quite a few people looking at it, and we'll try and answer as many questions as we can while we're demoing the while we're demoing the product, instead of waiting at the end to answer. So please feel free to ask questions as you see fit. With that said, I think it's 5:32. Deepak, your call. Should we start the options demo?
Yes, I think we should.
All right. So right when you log into 5.1, if you've noticed recently, we've rolled out this new feature. It's to do with the option side of things, which is what we're talking about today. So if you go into strategies and if you go into options positions, you will be redirected to the options position page. You can also go there just by clicking this button here, which gives you how many option positions you have in your account. There are a few options positions that we've preloaded so that you don't have to, recreate something that's very basic. So things like straddle, strangle, puts, short puts, long calls, guts, butterflies, things like that are already pre-programmed. So for example, if you just look at straddle, where it's just buying and it's buying a put and a call at the ATM. And you don't need to really program that in, it's already there. You can edit it, but you don't need to reprogram it or whatever. It's already saved in your profile when you load it. So what I did after that is just clicked on visualize/hide payoffs. What this does is this tells you if you applied a straddle position on Nifty, right, Nifty 50, what will your profit and loss be at the end of the expiry based on where Nifty expires, or where Nifty's what is the spot price for Nifty at the time of expiration. So currently it's 17,698.15. And what this is telling you is that as long as Nifty expires below 17,286, or if Nifty expires above 18,113, you'll be making money with this straddle position. So if you are thinking that there will be a big move in Nifty, either in the positive or the negative side, I think this is an okay strategy to go with. There are others that you can try out. So there is strangles, which you can try out. Just takes a bit to load. Now the strangle is loaded as well. In the strangle, we're basically buying one strike above and below. So we're buying the put for the strike below the ATM, and we're buying a call for the strike above the ATM. And again, the payoffs are calculated based on the current premiums and all of that. Another thing that is interesting is that you don't have to actually select the strike, the expiration, and the actual instruments for the options, right? They're all calculated for you based on where Nifty is right now. So Nifty is currently the ATM is 700, and therefore one strike above is 750, right? And one strike below is 650, right? all of that is pre-calculated for you. The current premium is also, we understand how much it is and therefore how much your P&L will be. Um, we're always putting in quantities in lots, and that's one thing to remember. But yeah, as soon as you decide, any kind of option position and you want to take that position right now, all you need to do is just click place order, and it will set everything up for you. Which is the instrument to be bought, which is the instrument to be sold if there are any. How much quantity do you want to buy or sell, and what is the kind of order that you want to sell or buy. So currently it's setting up everything as a market order, but you can change, let's say, MIS to normal, you can change regular to AMO, and things like that. And if you just wanted to place one order out of the two that are preloaded, or we can have multiple based on the number of legs. If you just want to place one, you can just click this button. But if you do want to place all of the orders together, just place all orders button, the buttons here, and you can place all orders from here. Um, this does try its best. This button does try its best to make sure that either all of the orders are placed or all of them are cancelled. So unless all of them work, whatever had been done earlier would be reversed back, so that you don't have a weird one-sided position going on, where, for example, you were able to buy the call but you weren't able to buy the put for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't have margin or whatever. So it will try to reverse whatever it has done. So that's uh, interesting in the sense that you can immediately place a straddle or a strangle or a butterfly position on any of the underlines, including the indexes. So no, and the other thing is, of course, all the FNO instruments are listed here. The underlines are listed here, and you can select, and it will automatically calculate which instruments to buy and sell based on what you've configured here. A few other things which are a little more detailed. So you can, these are two separate orders, right? We're buying one put and we're buying one call, and both of them have their own P&L. And based on where it will expire, you can look at the P&L, individually. If you wanted to look at where, what will be the P&L for the put, or what will be the P&L for the buy, based on where Nifty expires. That information is also there for you. The graph is just a visual representation of the P&L. So it's nothing different. It's just representing it in a visual form. And then also we have Greeks, including IV, delta, theta, gamma, and vega. For some people, this will be too complicated to go with in the first go, which is absolutely fine. But for those that do understand and do want to see this information, we thought it will be interesting for it to be there. And also you do have the entire chain. If you want to look at the full Nifty chain, you do have access to that as well. And we've tried our best to put as much information as we could about what the latest bid and ask prices and quantities are, what's the volume, so on and so forth, and open interest. Beyond that, so do we have any questions so far?
Yeah. Aviral, so there's one from Manish, which is, does it verify the liquid stocks in case of FNO shares, not index?
Does it verify the liquid stocks? Honestly, in terms of recommending which ones have good liquidity, no, it does not. But you can look at the chain and understand whether there's any liquidity at all. That's one way to do it. But the system really stays away from the decision making side. It tries to focus on executing your order, because that's a bit of an opinion as well, right? Something that's illiquid to somebody could be liquid to somebody else, depending on what your position sizing is, and so on and so forth. Okay. Anything else that uh, we can cover in greater detail, or
There's one question around the
Mhm.
backtesting. Can someone
Yes,
backtest these options like builder by a Rikesh?
right. So there are two things. If you build an algo strategy with options instruments where you are selecting the tickers also, you can backtest those. But if you are selecting this leg builder based position, since it's dynamic, currently we don't have the option to backtest the combination of these two. Um, there is the option of backtesting just this strategy, not based on the algorithmic buy and selling options, but just this base strategy in the 5.1 elite version. It does have the option to backtest, let's say, straddle or a strangle. So if you were to apply a straddle on the first day of the option getting of the contract getting created and then expire at the time of expiry, or square off at the time of expiry, what would your PNL be over the last few months? So you could do that in the elite version. We haven't rolled that out for the for 5.1 core yet, which is the one that you see in front of you. um, but that's one that we have at the back of our heads, and we're working to bring that to this platform as well.
Yeah, I think backtesting of options seems to be a popular, and another one is
Yeah.
also on the same lines, if that's available.
Understood. So now one thing that we also wanted to talk about, since we're already through with manually placing orders on the option side, one thing that we wanted to talk about was what if you wanted to take a straddle position when a certain technical condition is met, which is what our algo side actually does. So we'll show you an example of that. Um, so if you go into the create strategy, now the strategy, of course, is the algo strategy, right? And let's say I want to run this on maybe not Alliance. I've already done that. Maybe let's say TCS, and I want to run it on a 1 minute interval, and we'll deal with this later. But the condition that I want to run it on is whenever the close is above the SMA of 200, which is a general indicator of, let's say, an uptrend, I want to deploy a certain option position. So then in this case, I can go ahead and deploy a long call, let's say. So now I'm buying the ATM call when the close is above SMA on a minute to minute basis. And I want to exit, let's say, when the close is below the 200 days. So I can legitimately do that. Instead of just buying and selling the equity, I can, in fact, go into an option position as well. Buying and selling also allows you to select. So if you select buy here, right? And if you say TCS 22 August, I don't know what the current TCS stock price is, but let's say I want, this is the ATM 3100, and I select this. I can do this, and this will basically behave in the same way. But this will not change if the underlying moves, right? If you select the option position, and you say I'm going with the long call, this will actually take the current ATM and calculate which is the ticker that we want to buy, and actually buy that. And now, of course, you don't have to go with simple strategies. You can go with, butterflies or whatever, where you have multiple different legs, and all of these legs will be placed. So all of these orders will be placed whenever this condition is met, um, which is a technical condition as an overlay to the option position that I'm trying to have. So whenever my close goes above the SMA of 200, a full butterfly position will be taken. And whenever my close goes below the 200 SMA, this position will be removed, or it will be squared off in my account. Um, so that's the overview of the option positions. Any questions so far, Deepak?
Yeah, there's one by Topan. He asks how to change legs in a strategy.
how to change. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So if I go into option positions, let's say I want to change the legs for uh, a long straddle, let's say, right? And I want to change this. I What do you want to do? Let's change the strike. So let's say that I want to do a strangle. So I just update this leg with -1, and I select another one and say ATM +1. So effectively, I made it a strangle. Yeah, and it's saving essentially as soon as I press save. When you press save, you can just, if you want to change the name, you can do that as well, and save it. Of course, when you save, it will also start appearing here. Um, but yeah, so that it's pretty easy. You just click and then change whatever you want, and then update or remove if you want to.
So there are two more, Aviral. One is
Mhm.
can a script be selected in an example while showing changing legs?
Sure. So I'll do that. Let me just refresh this. So let's take straddle, and I'm loading this for Nifty now. Okay. Straddle is loaded. Uh, I want to spread this apart even further. So instead of ATM +1, I want to make ATM +2. Update this leg. And instead of ATM -1, I want to do ATM -2. So hopefully, yeah. So this just became a little wider. So I have a wider gap where I'm in loss, but yeah, my loss would be slightly smaller because the premium would be lower. Again, I'm moving away from the ATM, so the premium would get lower and lower as I go away. So yeah, this does update live. So when you change these legs, let me just do this once more. So maybe ATM +4. So as soon as you do that, this also updates. It just did, if you noticed. Um, yeah. And of course, all the other things are also updating. It's not like just the payoff chart is updating, but the break even is updating. Your maximum loss, your maximum profit, everything is updating. And so is the instrument selected.
Can the same be done for maybe let's say a Reliance or TCS?
Sure, absolutely. So all that you need to do is come here and select the one that you want. So you want to use Reliance, you can just select Reliance. Um, the payoff is already updated. The option chain also loaded because I by mistakenly I clicked on it. But yeah, the payoff is already updated.
Got it. Another one is, can you change legs while adding the additional strategy conditions, the entry and exit points?
So the answer to that is you can't do that on that screen. You'll have to come back here, change it, and then go back. So on the create strategy page, you can select anyone that you want, any option position that you want, but you can't really necessarily click and change here. So that's not possible here. You'll have to go back to the other page and come back.
Got it. I
Yeah.
think we can move ahead.
All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up what we wanted to share. I'm sure there are interesting use cases that people would be thinking of um, in terms of what technicals to apply to understand what kind of market scenario it is, and then picking an option strategy that is suitable towards that. We're happy to discuss all of that with you guys. As in, just one more thing that maybe I can talk to you guys about is once you are done with the creation of the strategy, and I think we had created one, but we never saved it, is that you can start backtesting it immediately. As I said, we on the dynamic option side where legs are selected automatically, we don't have a backtesting feature yet, uh, because of the sheer data requirement that we'll have, because we'll need data for all of the expired instruments, which is also tick by tick because we need to have what the underlying price was at any particular time, um, without which the backtesting thing is difficult to do. But yeah, as soon as you do this, you can start a paper trade and see how it's going in the live market. So let me say close 200 cross over, and I'm deploying a straddle. So my hypothesis here is that as soon as the close goes above the 200-day SMA, a large move is sort of assumed, and therefore I'm taking a straddle position, which means that I'll make money if the move is large. So that's essentially the hypothesis, and I can just click on save and paper trade. Immediately, this will start a paper trade in my account, and once the market is live, I'll see the P&L being updated here. And of course, as in when I want to deploy this or stop this or whatever, I can do that from this page or my strategies page, in fact. So all of my strategies that are saved in my profile are here, and I can just click on deploy. Let me find the one that we just did. Yeah. So if I just click deploy all, of course, I can paper trade again if I want to, but I can also take it live, and I just need to select a broker that I want to deploy this with. And then all of the signals that are generated would be sent to the broker account live.
Viral, two more questions. One
Sure.
is how to backtest a strategy. I think you should consider both options and the equity.
Got it. Got it. So in fact, even on the option side, if you just select a static option, right, you could backtest. So for example, let me just do, what is the TCS underlying right now? TCS 3400 is the, okay. So if I say 3400 and I select a call and I say 1 minute and I'll buy that call when the close, again, I'll use the same exact condition. Uh, and I'm using the 200-day. I think I used SMA, so let me use SMA. So 200-day SMA, and then exit based on close going below the 200-day SMA again. Of course, here I can have a stop loss and all of that, which you guys can tinker around with. Yeah, I'll just give it a name, and since this is normal, I'll go into backtesting. So this is going to start a backtest for this particular ticker. So usually takes a few seconds, and we should ideally, hopefully, have the results here. Yeah. So I'm making money. However, my overall a lot of negative trades, but I'm overall the PNL is positive, which might be luck because we just created this. So this might be just luck in our favor. But anyway, you can go into the individual trades and see what happened. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we today, if you think about it, um, we've covered options, leg building, right? Positions building based on legs. You can have as many as you want. Then we saw the payoffs. We saw the option chain, right, which you can use to understand which strikes are liquid, which instruments are liquid. Um, Plus, you can optimize the position based on if you think certain strikes are cheaper than others, then you can use those and then place the order immediately. So that was on the manual order taking side, and on the algo side as well. Of course, you can backtest on static options, but with dynamic options, you can paper trade and deploy. Um, and you can integrate with the broker of your choice. We have already wrapped up, uh, discussions with GeoJit in terms of having, um, multi-user access for all of our users and very, very easy login and things like that. So hopefully once that comes along, you guys can take advantage of that. Currently, we have Kite and Fires on the platform. So if you want to, use those, you can always use those. The other thing that I also want to say is that this is not limited to just being able to deploy. I think being able to construct a position that has, the right option strike selected and things like that, that has value in and of its own. And you can always, if your broker of choice is not on the list, for example, you can always place the orders manually, but just being able to understand where you can best attain the best payoff, and limiting your losses and maximizing your upside, I think that has value in and of its own. So
So couple more, Aviral. One is, can cross up and cross down be used instead of greater than or lower than
yes,
symbols?
absolutely. So I think I selected greater than, but you could of course use cross up instead. So you have all of these options: greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, cross up and cross down. So yeah, so cross up and cross down are slightly different to greater than and less than, in terms of course, it'll only be true at that particular point where the cross up happens, instead of greater than, where it'll be true across, whenever there is anywhere the close goes above the SMA. So yeah, slight difference there, technical point, but yes, you can use either based on what you're looking to do.
Great. Another one is, will the algo system take trades as and when the conditions are met?
Yes. So as soon as the conditions are met, the trades will be taken and placed in your brokerage account.
Great. Another is again on backtesting. Topan is asking this backtest is whether the backtest is also available for dynamic option like
So
selection.
no, sadly, since we will require tick by tick data for all of the expired options, right? We haven't been able to manage that data yet. It's just a data problem for us. We're looking at options. Some of them are pretty expensive, honestly. We're looking at what all we can do. But yeah, currently dynamic option leg selection backtesting is not there, but you can paper trade and deploy. When you're selecting strikes and tickers statically, you can always backtest, which we just did. In fact, the backtest that we just did was on a call option.
Got it. Another one is on the current brokers that we support. So maybe you could talk about that as well as showcase how we, integrate those.
Sure. So we are coming out with GeoJit very, very soon. We've ironed out all of our arrangements with them. It'll be uh, most likely a very easy login for users, and it will be a free to use API. While the current ones do have their own, they have their API access prices and all of that. Uh, so Kite and Fires were integrated today. The instructions for how to log in and all of that are all here in the integrate broker account page. But yeah, soon, if you log in after a few days, you'll see sections here that list out the ones that are coming really soon versus the ones that are coming after that. And we're targeting GeoJeet, we're targeting Upstocks, we're targeting Alice Blue, Angel Broking, and things like that.
Great.
One last thing that I also wanted to say was that, of course, this is the retail platform. It's fairly easy to get started on, and it's fairly cheap. But if you have a more sophisticated system in mind, which you think would require, you know, um, statistical arbitrage type strategies, or in general the strategies that cannot be built on a form. Um, Machine learning, alternative data sets, things like that. We do have the elite version as well, which you could talk to us about. It's a completely different offering, and it's an enterprise offering. But I just wanted to bring that up as well.
Thanks, Saviral. So there are three more. One is, can we take crude oil and natural gas option positions as well as on commodities?
Yeah. So
Uh,
currently we only support NSE. We don't support MCX. So whatever is available on NSE, we you can go ahead and select those. However, I don't know of an instrument that can help you do that on the NSE. So yeah, as in when we roll out more exchanges, we'll let you guys know. But and currently MCX is not supported.
Another one is, can we consider the close, open, or high lows of the current candles as well as the previous candles as well?
Yes. So when you go into create strategy, for example, if you're trying to do, let's say, the previous high, all that you need to do is dot shift one. So dot shift one will give you the previous high. If you want to do the day before high, you can just say dot shift two, which will give you the high from 2 days ago, and so on and so forth. So 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever you need. And I mean, when I say days, I actually mean candles. So if we are using the time interval as 1 day, then it's 2 days ago. When I'm saying 1 minute as the time interval, this is actually 4 minutes ago. So this is the high from 4 minutes ago. So previous candle lookup, yes, it's available with dot shift. On the technical indicators also, you can go back and look at history. So for example, if you wanted to see the last day's EMA, you can just say offset equal to 1, and this will give you the previous EMA rather than giving you the current one.
Uh, do we cover conditions using Heiken-Ashi?
Do we yes. So Heikinashi is just like any other indicator. Heikinashi is available as well, and you can use values from that.
Another one is, I guess, the keyword documentation. Where is it available? I think what he's trying to ask is, whatever recommendation you're getting whenever you type a keyword, where are they
Hmm.
available?
So we are trying to do our best to have all of the documentation right here, so that you don't have to go to someplace else. Um, so for example, if you just start typing in RSI or whatever, you'll get a few helpful hints that relate to RSI. Um, Things like shift are things that we're working on. So more advanced points of the uh, platform where you want to look up something in the past or things like that, those may not be very clearly referred to here, but we're working hard on that and trying to find answers where you can just find answers here itself.
Can we add Nifty, Bank Nifty, weekly, monthly options as a script?
Yes. So as long as you remember the ticker, uh, I think this one is monthly, if I'm not mistaken. And this is not just options, by the way. You can do this with futures as well. But yeah, so as long as you remember what is the ticker name for NAC, you can do it here. So currently, our I think it's 17,500. What's the what's the current Nifty? I mean, whatever you can select right here. All of the tickers, including monthly and weekly, they're all available here. You just need to remember the ticker name. That's all.
I think that's it. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. Maybe you could just touch upon the report, the order report, and maybe give a glimpse of what we would like to cover in the next webinar
Right,
request.
right. So on the reconciliation side, we have a report called the order book, which basically lists each and every order to the broker account. I would like to show you. I mean, I can show you from my account, but it doesn't have too many orders. I can just share another account. Is Shripal on the call? And can you just participate in sharing the screen?
Yeah, I will.
So what you will see on on the screen shortly is the order book report, which will basically reconcile with the broker's order report. Um, so essentially, you see each and every order that was sent to them with the entire history of those orders.
So,
Can you share it?
yes, yes, I'll just do that. There is one more question which is provide an API to code.
Do we provide an API to code? We can explore that more in terms of the elite plan, but in the retail platform, no, not really. And I don't think that's something that the retail side we're looking to do, honestly. So yeah, as you can see on the order book report, we basically have the timestamp against each and every point in history. So when was it received? When was it validated? When did it become open? When did it complete? All of the timestamps are throughout. And this is one order's history. And of course, you have all of the orders in the main report itself. If you don't click on order history, you'll have all the orders in sequential order, so that you can just see when everything appears on your broker's terminal as well. So just one, convenience thing that I wanted to share, because once you have a few deployments running, this does get technical and it's difficult to understand what happened from here versus what did you do in the broker's or terminal directly. So this actually helps with that. And as you can see, when we're sending out bracket orders, for example, there are a few that are cancelled as well. So if one exit is met, the other exit gets cancelled, and therefore, you have one cell that completes and one cell that gets cancelled out. Um, right. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's one convenience thing that we wanted to point out.
So another important one, Aviral, is how is it different from the street platform?
So a couple of points. Of course, you have the dynamic options, module that you saw earlier. The other thing is, of course, uh, we do actually um, complete the order in your order book rather than requiring a button press. So those are the two key things. But keep in mind that our support is also quite good. We try to respond as quickly as possible on the live chat, on the support email, and all of that. So we're trying to distinguish ourselves there as well.
How can we do optional selling with auto adjustment? Can you make the algo for this?
We probably can, but I will need to understand that in a little more detail to be able to answer that completely.
Yeah, we would request Bhagavan to just schedule a demo
Yeah,
or a call with us from our website, and we could have a chat around this. Yeah. Great. I think that's all, everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to talk to us. As always, we're approachable on the email that Ismail has just pointed out in the chat. Beyond that, we have the live chat as well. Please feel free to reach out to us there. We also have a schedule a demo option on our website, uh, which I'll ping here. So you can just go to this and schedule a demo if you need any further understanding on any of the topics. And we are happy to have met you all virtually. And thank you so much for spending this time with us.